Hey folks, I'm Karyssa.
And I'm Nikki.
And welcome to New Strangeland. Hi all, welcome back to New Strangeland. We hope you had a strange week.
Oh, yeah, you know I did.
Today we're talking about Madame Sherri's forest, or her castle.
Yeah, castle, forest, it was all hers. Madame Sherri's castle is located in the woods of Chesterfield, New Hampshire. And all that's there is a lone stairway leading to nowhere. Ooh, spooky. How did it get there? What happened to the structure that housed it? Who lived there? Is it haunted? We actually took a trip out there in the fall of 2017. Remember that?
Yeah,
Pretty darn cool. You just walk up this pathway and then there's just like these random concrete and stone ruins and this
just giant
Stairway.
staircase. Yep,
it's pretty ominous.
yeah,
So
definitely.
it's definitely a place to it's an attraction in New Hampshire for
I would
sure.
definitely check it out if you've never been.
So who was this Madame Cherie?
Who was she?
And why'd she have a castle in a forest?
In a forest.
Well, we're going to tell you about her
And there's
today.
nothing around.
No, there's nothing. It's in western New Hampshire. Like,
Random.
there's literally the largest town or the largest city from there is at least like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So, Madame Cherie was born Antoinette Bromard in 1878, Paris, France. She was a French ass bitch. So she was a seamstress and a dancer, and she danced at a lot of hottie-totty clubs in Paris.
Dang.
Like, I'm
Get it.
thinking like Moulin Rouge-esque for the time.
Yeah.
You know, like, ooh, you know, voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? Anyways, so she met her husband in 1909. His name's Andre Raella. I'm sorry, I'm probably saying this wrong, but you know what? We're just gonna call him Andre. So, and in 1911, they sailed to New York City. And they climbed New York society by making up elaborate stories, such as in December of 1911, New York newspapers ran a story of a cute young couple arriving on the ship the Oceanic. The woman, Antonia Delilas, that is Madame Cherie, she liked to change her name a lot. I don't know why.
Seems like it.
Yeah, you know, I guess it's a time for change. The times they are changing.
You move, you change your name. You
Yeah.
move, you change your name. Why not?
Why not? So, she was the woman, Antonia Delilas, a French gorgeous woman, and the man, Andre Raella, was the son of an Italian diplomat living in the United States. Raella brought his wife to meet his parents, who shunned her, but then warmed up to her, welcoming her into the family. But this was a fake AF story.
Oh, a fake AF story.
Yeah, so
Oh, one of their stories.
yeah, it turns out that Andre needed a way to quietly re-enter the country because he was a wanted man.
Oh, of course.
But the law didn't catch up to him for a couple months later when Madame Cherie and her husband Andre got caught stealing jewelry.
Oh, dang.
They bad.
They bad.
So it turns out that he was wanted for like this whole blackmailing thing. And you know what? Andre's not even his real name.
What's his real name?
Anthony Macaluso. Much easier.
Anthony Macaluso.
Yeah, that's
What a
his
name.
real name. He changed his name because he was a wanted man. A wanted man. But so he was actually charged with taking money to alter his testimony in an extortion case against this lawyer named Carl Fisher Hansen. Carl Fisher Hansen was blackmailing an interior designer who used Anthony Macaluso / Andre as a quote-unquote sex toy.
Oh. Ooh.
So, yeah, I don't know what this entailed. I don't know if, he was just in it for money,
Right.
to get a cut, but that was pretty wild. But yeah, he was only locked up briefly once he was caught because they didn't have enough evidence or something.
Right.
I don't know. So, anyways, Andre, Anthony, him.
Him. That's
Him.
ma'am.
And Madame Sherri, they opened up a millinery shop, which, do you know what a millinery shop is?
I have no idea what a millinery shop is.
I actually had to look this up before I came here. It's a hat shop.
Oh.
You didn't know.
I
I
had
just
no
thought
idea.
they were hat shops, but
Yeah.
apparently it's a millinery shop.
Millinery.
Yes. But they opened up a millinery shop on 42nd Street in New York City. And they also ended up designing a bunch of Broadway costumes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and they did a bunch of stuff with the Ziegfeld girls and think Chicago-esque kind of stuff,
Yeah, very fancy.
So fancy. And then so they did that for a while, and around 1916 she officially changed her last name to Sherri.
Okay.
And a few years later, Andre, he unfortunately died. And he
what did he die from?
Well, so a lot of articles kind of just glossed over it, but he was institutionalized because he was insane and he was going blind. And when I was reading all these symptoms, I was just like, yo, I think he died from syphilis. I'm 10 out of 10 sure that he died from syphilis. And then
I feel like when I was looking up stuff about it, it said syphilis. So.
Oh, yeah. And then as I dove deeper, it was oh, yeah, it was probably syphilis or from drinking bathtub gin. Because apparently...
What is bathtub gin?
During Prohibition, when they used to just, make their own gin, and they typically did it in a bathtub.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I had him pictured just, in a tub having a glass of gin. I'm like, how do you die from that?
Or he's in a tub just filled with gin.
Yeah, just soaking it up, and his whole body just
this is how I get drunk. It's through osmosis. But, yeah, no, bathtub gin was, pretty gnarly stuff.
Ew, that sounds pretty gnarly. I clearly, since I just tasted gin at your house the other day, it's pretty nasty to me. Unless you really like drinking Christmas trees.
The amount of pine cones it took to make that bathtub gin. It's just pure pine cone juice.
Ugh.
I don't know. Apparently a lot of people got sick and died from drinking too much of that bath juice there.
Bath juice.
But yeah, so pretty sure he died from syphilis. I don't know. It could have been bathtub gin. Who knows? But anyways, he died. Well, while she was, they had their shop and stuff, and they were doing a lot of stuff for Broadway, she actually took this guy named Charles Lemaire under her wing. He was a failed actor, and she taught him how to do costume design, and he later won an Oscar for his work in Hollywood, and he did costumes for the old Miracle on 34th Street and All About Eve. And so after her husband died, he kind of just felt like he needed to support her because
because she taught him.
She taught him how to do his job.
Right.
And it's like a mentor-mentee, and then, oh, I'm gonna take care of you now because you're on hard times.
Right.
But yeah, dude was kind of loaded, I guess, because so she went with her friend out to New Hampshire, and he had this really, like, a decent house. It was kind of just like a low-key vacation house. And she was just like, oh, I love this area. And so with the money that she's getting from Charles Lemaire, she bought 600 acres of land in West Chesterfield and decided, I'm going to build me a castle.
Yeah.
And so she didn't have any blueprints for this. She literally just walked around the land and it was just like telling the contractors, like, yes, this staircase is gonna go here, and over here this will be the east side of the house. And the contractors fucking hated her for this because they had no plans. But the house got built, and so
I mean,
that's all that matters, I guess.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine how frustrating that was for them. So
right? And like if she could change something, like,
oh yeah, I'm sure she did that because she was said to be like a super eccentric woman and stuff. So I could only imagine her just like walking to the work site and just being like, no, we're gonna turn the house 45-degree angles northeast.
we're going to put that bathroom that you're almost done with in the west side of the building.
Thank you. Just uproot it. Move, please. Oh man, it's surprising that they didn't strangle her. Anyways, so they finished her castle, and it was a super unique kind of style, and it's described by Lynn Borofsky, which Lynn Borofsky, she's kind of like the go-to encyclopedia of everything Madame Cherie.
Oh.
Yeah, like, I watched some YouTube videos with her and stuff, and she just knows basically everything about her. It's wild. I'm like, pretty cool. But it was a theatrical French chateau of New Hampshire stone. Chateau. Wreathed in Roman arches and crowned with a chalet roof. An imposing stone staircase, grand enough for a Follies stage set, had stone flower boxes with red and white flowers, earning the name Primrose Path. The main stairs, cut into the rock ledge, leading to a massive red front door.
Ooh,
dude,
red front door.
This house sounds like fancy as shit.
Yeah.
And also, red front door, my head goes immediately to Nightmare on Elm Street because they had a red front door, and then, like, the mom just getting pulled out of the... Whatever. Anyways. But yeah, so once her house was built and stuff, she decided it was just gonna be the ultimate party house. Like, Gatsby proportioned parties every weekend.
Ooh. That sounds cool.
Oh, yeah. And it's so crazy, though, like, because I couldn't find that much detail about what went on at those parties. There's no one, like, on record saying, like, oh, yeah, I went to a Madame Cherie party.
Right.
Shit was lit. But
shit was lit.
But dude, it just sounds pretty wild. Like, there's a bunch of rumors circulating that she could have been a true madame, and it was kind of a brothel.
Ooh, a brothel.
Yeah, like, she pimped out guys and gals to her party goers to make them have some extra fun.
Extra fun.
Oh, Bobby. Yeah.
I mean, I don't doubt that probably happened.
Oh, no.
Even if it wasn't every party, it probably happened at multiple.
I mean, yeah, like, I think that rumors start with some fact.
Yeah.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it goes, far off from the true fact, or, I think there's probably a little bit of truth to it.
Probably.
A little bit of truth.
A little bit.
But, so when she, threw these parties, she greeted all of her guests at the top of that staircase.
Ooh.
She would only wear her, like, really cool Broadway costumes that she made. Like, she would look so extra.
Right.
hella crazy, like, headpieces with feathers.
Can you imagine that?
Oh my god. Like, welcome to my party. And you're just like,
outfit.
I feel underdressed. Oh no.
And then, like, just walking down that staircase.
Oh, yeah.
If she did. Probably didn't. But
I don't know. I'd like to envision her, like, walking down the staircase, like the scene in Titanic when Rose comes down. Yeah. Except it's Madame Sherri dressed very exotic and eccentric.
Yeah.
And just being like, yes, darlings. I don't know why I'm making her voice sound like that, by the way. She's French, and I'm just making her sound like...
Yeah, but she, like...
a British socialite.
She might have, like, had different accents. You never know.
Oh, you know what? That's probably a good point, because she was in the acting community and in Broadway.
And she just changed, her name all the time. Probably changed her personality a little bit here and there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I wonder if there's a slight bit of mental illness with her.
Probably.
Poor Madame Sherri. But yeah, she also, one of her things that she liked to do around town was drive in her fancy car. What kind of car was it? It was crazy. Anyway, she drove in her fancy car, and she drove with a monkey.
A monkey?
Yeah, like she had a pet monkey.
What?
A pet monkey.
Huh.
I don't know. They didn't describe the monkey. I'm assuming it's a small spider monkey just chilling on her shoulder.
Just a little spider
I wonder
monkey.
what his name was.
Right?
I bet it was something super fancy.
It probably was.
It was like...
something like French.
Francesco. Monsieur Grey Poupon.
Grey Poupon.
And the whole town... they knew that she was throwing these wild parties, and they were like kind of annoyed with her, kind of envious, but also she was super well loved despite like their mixed feelings, because she was just so out there and zany that people were just like, it's just Madame Sherri.
It's just Madame Sherri.
She's up to her old tricks, So, unfortunately, all good things must come to an end, and right around World War II, she ran out of money, or Charles Lemaire ran out of money. He stopped sending her said money, and she tried unsuccessfully to be a Jehovah's Witness.
So random.
Yeah, that was like her first thing.
Let's go to the Jehovah's Witness.
Hey, I'm gonna go from throwing these wild ass, probably prostitutes are their parties, to being a Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
So you can say that didn't work out,
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah. And she ended up moving to Brattleboro, Vermont, and the castle just went into disarray. It's really sad, because you can look up old pictures of it, and it was like really cool and kind of imposing. Yeah. And you would think that if it was still standing today, it could be some sort of museum that you could visit.
Right, it would be really cool.
Yeah, but it fell into like super disarray. It's like vandalized, and she finally went back to see it years later, and she was just absolutely heartbroken. So she sold the property and the castle in 1962, and shortly after there was a fire that just destroyed it. So the only thing that was left standing was the staircase. Yep.
Now, I think she set it on fire.
I kind of think that too. I think she was like probably pretty bitter about, that this was like her cool hangout, her cool hotspot. Yeah. This is everything that she embodied: the glamour, the glitz, the who's who, and then it's just gone. And it probably just made her so sad to see it just melt into nothing.
Yeah, because who knows? I mean, obviously, who knows who it was sold to. I don't know, you'd think if it was sold to someone that, like...
That maybe they would try to do something with it.
Right, but then...
I don't know. I don't know if, Fixer-Upper was a thing, though, in, 1962.
1962 Fixer-Upper?
Yeah. Mm. Yo, Chip and Joanna Gaines, they could have done some shit to this place.
Right? They could have.
It would have been so Magnolia. Oh my god, I watched way too much HGTV.
Yeah, well, that'd be pretty cool, like a 1960s Fixer-Upper.
Yeah.
Fixer-Upper.
I would watch that. I would watch the shit out of that.
Oh, me too.
Oh my god. So after it was sold, Sherri ended up penniless and on public assistance.
Oh.
She died in a Vermont nursing home, basically alone. She didn't have anyone. She never had kids. It's really sad. The day that she died, the property was purchased by Ann Stokes. And Ann Stokes, she worked to preserve the land, and she put a lot of effort into making the forest look really awesome, making trails and...
Oh, that's nice. That's good.
And she ended up selling it to the New Hampshire Society for Preservation of the Forest. And that's what you see today when you go visit it, which it's really sweet. I'm like,
yeah. At least somebody tried to preserve a little bit of it.
Yeah, and make it kind of nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of it for her story. It's just really sad though, because you're like, oh, I going from this crazy life that she had, married to some outlaw dude that he definitely did some underhanded stuff.
Oh yeah.
His whole life.
For sure.
Oh yeah. And
then being this...
And then being a widow.
Yeah.
And then being
being
this,
build a house, have all these parties, and then, And
then nothing. And then dying in destitute, basically. Yeah. So, there's also rumors that the forest is haunted.
Ooh.
Yes. Which... Visitors report a sense of presence at the site, hearing the distant sounds of gay music or flashes of what they are convinced must be Madame Cherie's restless spirit trying to welcome one more guest to the party. Oh. Do you want to be her ghostly guest? Ooh. But I don't think we experienced any of that when we went. I wonder,
know.
Well, we went during the daytime, too.
Yeah, we did go during the daytime.
It's probably way different vibes at night.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was like, we should probably check it out at night.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
I wonder if that's allowed to go do it.
I know. I wonder.
We'll do it. Whatever. Breaking the law. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think of Madame Cherie? Do you think that she made great life decisions?
Oh, yes, totally. 100%.
110%.
Yeah. I mean, nowadays, wouldn't probably pan out like that.
No, especially with the name changes. I think about all the paperwork it would take nowadays.
Right?
You can't just, I guess you could, but it wouldn't, was that, her legal name? What was even her legal name? Was it...
I don't know.
Do they even keep that kind of documentation then?
Right.
Or do they just... They're just this is my new name.
She was born in France?
Yeah, she was born in France.
Yeah. So, obviously, when you go to a new country, probably is a little bit easier to change your name. But as far as, just moving to, across the country...
Yeah.
But... I don't know. But, back then, probably.
I wonder why she never went back to France, too.
Yeah.
To live her whole life never going... maybe she, didn't have an attachment to France.
When we had no family?
Oh, she clearly had parents at some point, but I don't remember reading anything about siblings.
Right. Or, but that could have been a story that she told. Maybe she didn't have any parents. At one point, obviously, yes.
Everyone has parents at one point.
But, maybe she was, estranged from her parents.
Yeah, because, she was a dancer, and she was a dancer at some kind of scandalous club. So I wonder if her parents found out and they
Didn't approve.
They did not approve and kicked her to the curb.
Yeah, they could have done that.
Because, I don't know, I think I would rather live in Paris, France than New York City. Like, I feel like that's such a life to be in Sweet Paris.
Yeah.
During the early 1900s, it just sounds like there was so much going on with acting and like just like the cool I don't know. Fuck.
I mean, I feel like even New York back then too would have been cool.
Oh, for sure. I mean, yeah, because I guess New York was absolutely the place to go because that's where like all like the Ziegfelds and then like the flappers started to become a thing.
Yeah.
So.
And that seems like a little bit of her cup of tea.
It does, for sure.
Yeah, but then going to New Hampshire.
I know. That just seems like such a jump.
Yeah.
Oh, there was rumors that Al Capone went to some of her parties. But it's not confirmed. I don't know. It's so crazy too because like apparently her parties were so crazy, but there's no one like famous really linked to attending these parties.
Like, there are older pictures, but there's like no pictures of. I couldn't find any pictures of the inside.
No,
there's like no pictures.
I think I just saw one, but it was like her in her glamorous getup.
Yeah,
and you don't really see, what the inside of the house looks like.
And I mean, like, so what? She probably had parties more like around 1950, like late 50s.
No,
or early 50s.
No, her parties were in like the late 20s, 30s.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
She like mainly partied in the 30s.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because Prohibition.
But yeah, I guess so. Photography was.
I don't know. I feel like there's still a lot of pictures from that era.
Yeah.
And if she like knew so many people, especially in the entertainment industry,
right? You'd think she'd have more photos.
Yeah, and especially if she had such a big personality, I feel like a big personality does come with like kind of a bit of an ego.
Yeah, unless they were literally all like brothel parties.
Yeah.
Then that's why they couldn't like they probably wouldn't want to take a bunch of pictures.
Yeah, and that's why there wouldn't be any documentation, especially. Yeah. Ooh, especially if like high profile people went there.
Right.
They're like
I don't want evidence that I was here.
Yeah.
Ooh. Maybe we've stumbled onto something here.
Interesting. I don't know. I just want to know what else happened at these parties.
Right.
Do you know that actually also another thing I neglected to mention, she never actually like stayed there. That wasn't even her house. She built this gorgeous castle and she never truly lived in it. She actually lived in like this like little disheveled cottage down the road.
Why? Yeah, that's weird. Why wouldn't you live in the house
that you built? So that makes me even question like more like why she wouldn't want to live there if there was some unsavory, I guess, unsavory things that went on in there.
It sounds a little suspicious.
It sounds a little fishy to me. Built this great house, but no, I don't want to live there. I only want to party there because at my parties we do weird shit with butts.
Weird shit with butts.
That's probably it. Imagine if like their parties weren't even that crazy and it was like them sitting in a circle sipping tea and and everyone just thought they were insane parties, but it's just like, yeah, it's your turn at backgammon.
Or if it was really just like her.
Oh yeah, like she didn't even really have people over.
Yeah, and she just made up these elaborate stories.
That would be wild. I don't know. I feel like that could totally like fit her personality too, because if you're like, she's obviously slightly unhinged.
Yes. Oh yeah.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, making up like these grandiose ideas.
Just so people will be like, oh, that's Madame Sherri.
Yeah, because
I've never
she
been
liked
invited
making
to her
up
parties,
stories.
but...
Like her and her husband, they made up stories to climb like the social hierarchy in New York City. So why wouldn't she continue to do that?
Yeah.
That's probably, you know, if there definitely was people that probably went to her parties, but that's maybe why it was even less talked about, to make it like super mysterious and elite kind of party to go to.
Yeah. And then so she moved away when she was older.
Yeah.
In the 60s, early 60s.
It was in the late 40s.
Late 40s. So it's like, why would she move too?
To become a Jehovah's Witness? I don't know.
Well, I know, what's his name stopped.
Yeah, he stopped giving her money, but technically she owned the house and the land around it, so why wouldn't she stay, you know, somewhere where she, I don't know, I guess she would have to pay taxes or something? I don't know why she would just up and leave it.
Right. And then never come back until, like...
15 years later, like 20 years later, and to see it in ruins. I don't know. There had to have, something had to have happened that like left like a bad taste in her mouth, or like it was too much.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, because like to literally own a house and abandon it for a long time and then come back, and obviously it's vandalized, like
I don't know. And then she gets pissed and then burns it down. She's like, I'm gonna burn this mother down. I hate my job.
Yep.
That's what she did. And this is all speculation, by the way.
Of course.
This is
we have no idea.
Not fact whatsoever.
No.
I don't know. It's just wild to think that there are people like that live like these lavish lifestyles. Yeah, I don't know what could you like equate her to in this day and age. I was trying to think of that. Who's someone that would just be so crazy and weird? I don't know. And it's just like, oh my god, I don't know why my brain totally went there, and I'm not trying to compare the two at all. But like, what if it was like an Epstein Island kind of thing?
Oh.
Like, I don't know.
And then like Al Capone.
Yeah.
If that's true and he goes there.
Yeah, and that's why like all these like, you know, if these elite people went to these parties, that's why they weren't name dropped.
Right.
Because some shitty shit was going on.
Shit.
So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it was human trafficking. Oh my god. What are we unlocking here?
Right?
Oh man. Which, you know, speaking of Epstein, you know, that Ghislaine was caught in New Hampshire.
Yeah. She was.
What if she's Madame Sherri?
She's just reincarnated.
Oh my god. No, I don't know. I don't know if Madame Sherri would do that. I don't know. But maybe she would, because she seemed like an inherently kind of shady person.
Yeah. I don't know. Thinking about that just kind of ruins the...
the mystique?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'd like to think it was just some crazy... Like sex parties or something.
Yeah, or just, you know, watch The Great Gatsby and be like, oh yeah, that's what it was like.
Yeah, just sipping some tea and that too.
The champagne. Yeah. Champagne. Oh my god. No.
You know what I just thought? Maybe the parties were like drug parties, like, you know, and nobody really wanted to talk about them because she was a big party goer with all the drugs.
Because I know, like, in the 20s cocaine started to get big, they would like literally prescribe it as medicine.
Yeah.
But then there was also opium.
Like
opium dens.
Opium. Oh, maybe it was like a opium castle.
Oh my god. Madame Cherie's opium castle.
I never know. Maybe like she was part of like a drug ring too.
Oh, and she had her contacts in New York City. And they'd run
and they knew her husband.
Oh, he didn't die from syphilis or bath gin. It was drugs.
Never know.
No, you never know. Oh my gosh, I wouldn't put it past him. No, he seemed like a party animal.
Yeah, and like obviously he was an outlaw.
Yeah.
Could have been involved in drugs. And then she had connections to make her parties even better.
Oh, going back to the sex thing, like, I feel like that's totally plausible because why was he an outlaw? Why was her husband an outlaw to begin with?
Right.
Because he was someone's boy toy.
Right.
So I wonder if she, like, made any connections with that. Like, with those people. And they're like, oh, what if they were blackmailing people too? And maybe that's why no one talked about what was happening at the party.
Some shady stuff could have been going down.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, I think there was drugs. There was sex. There was a bunch of debauchery going down.
Debauchery.
Oh.
Or it could have just been Madame Sherri by herself sipping some tea. And,
or that. And she's just making up these stories.
Could have been.
I don't see why not.
We will never know.
We will never know. If, you do have a great-grandparent that went to one of these parties.
Ooh.
And they're fairly lucid, please ask them.
Yeah, because, I don't know. Like, my grandma was born in 1941.
Okay.
So that's my great-grandmother.
Yeah.
So I don't know. When it would probably have to be like...
Wait, that was your great-grandmother?
No.
Your grandma.
I'm wrong. That's my grandma.
I was like, oh, Jesus.
No. So, yeah, it would have had to be your great-grandparent. And I don't have any of those.
I don't either. I do know that my great-grandparents on my dad's side, they could have probably gone to these parties. They definitely didn't because they were sweet Polish immigrants. They were just nice people. But they like when I looked them up on Ancestry.com, they were born in the late 1800s. Old. Old.
Wow.
That's so wild. I wonder if there is anyone that's still alive that was born in the 1800s. I mean,
well,
it could be possible. They'd be 120, 121.
I don't know about that.
1899, that counts.
1899.
I was born. I'm a centennial baby.
I can see like really early 1900s.
Yeah.
But 1800s, I don't know. Never know. Who knows?
You never know. If you can find that out for me, listeners. Let me know.
Let us know.
Who's the oldest person and were they born in the 1800s?
And did they party in New Hampshire?
And did they party and do drugs and join a sex ring in New Hampshire? These are important questions that need to be answered, and they need to be answered now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's Madame Sherri, man.
That's the gist.
Dude.
That's the tea.
That's her. Do you like her, hate her, envy her? I don't know. How do you feel? How does anyone feel about her? I think it's just too much mystery.
There's a lot of mystery there. Yep.
One day we'll find someone. Our time's growing thin though to find people that went to the parties.
I know. Maybe one, like, we'll have to do it pretty soon.
Yeah, pretty soon. Like, in the next 5 minutes. Because... And if these parties were real poppin', I'm sure that the people that went there were kind of degens themselves. So they probably died of some party-related illness.
Right? Or...
syphilis.
Gin baths.
Gin bath syphilis.
All of the above.
Thank you. That's the way I'd like to go. Gin bath syphilis. She died doing what she loved.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
Oh man. Well, so that's a wrap on this week's episode.
That's a wrap.
Thank you all for coming to visit us again at New Strangeland. You can find us on Instagram at New Strangeland Podcast. Give us a follow. And like and subscribe. You know, send us some comments. You can
some comments.
Oh yeah, you guys can email us.
Ooh,
feedback.
Send us an email.
Yes.
If you know one of those old folks.
Yes, if you know any old folks, it would be good. But yeah, you can email us at newstrangelandpodcast@gmail.com.
Hit it up.
Ooh.
Slide into our emails.
Slip and slide into those DMs and emails. You'll love the way you look, I guarantee it. But yes, no, we'd sincerely love to hear feedback and comments.
Yes.
Even if it's shitty, even if you think we're garbage people, that's okay.
At least based on our first podcast, like, yeah.
You know, I mean,
we're
doing our best, okay? We're doing our best, sweetie. Like us. Well, you guys have a great week. And
have a great week.
Tune in next week.
Tune in next week for our strange adventures.
In New Strangeland. I'm Nikki.
And I'm Karyssa.
And thanks for visiting New Strangeland.